Welcome back. Today we're going to be solving by factoring where a equals 1, and these will be quadratic equations in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Once we factor the trinomial into two binomials, we'll be setting each binomial equal to 0 in solving because of the 0 property. It states if a times b is equal to 0, then a equals 0 or b equals 0. So here we have our first trinomial. Our a will be 1, b is in front of the linear term, and c is our constant. Now since it is, our a is equal to 1 rather, we can go ahead and think about our two binomials we're going to have. There's only one way to get m squared, and that's m times m. So that's how we get that first term. If we're distributing or foiling, it would be m times m. The way to get the last term is to multiply these two spots. The problem here is there's more than one way to get 12, and the catch is we need to use the way that's going to give us a 1 if we add them or subtract them together. So we need to think about c. c is negative 12. So we need factors of 12. So just make a list. 12 divided by 1 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And my next number would be 4, but that's already in my list, so that lets me know I can stop. This sign is very important. If c is negative, you're going to want your factors to be different signs. So either a positive and a negative or a negative times a positive. And they're going to have to combine to give you whatever your middle term is. And our middle term was 1. So I need for these to, since it's a minus, I'm going to need for them to subtract to give me that negative 1. So we'll say subtract the numbers. So 12 minus 1 is 11. Nope. 6 minus 2 is 4. Nope. 4 minus 3 is 1. Yes. We need for our larger number to be positive since our middle term was positive. So 4 will be positive and 3 will be negative, and those are the factors that will go in our parentheses. And we can FOIL or distribute that out. M times m is m squared. M times 4 is 4m. Minus 3m is 1m. And negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Now we'll use the zero product property and set each one equal to 0. So m minus 3 is equal to 0, or m plus 4 is equal to 0. So we have two little equations here we need to solve. On the left, we'll add 3 to both sides. So m is equal to 3. Over here, we'll subtract 4 from both sides, and that will be m is equal to negative 4. And then if we want to be fancy, we can put our answers in curly braces, and I normally put my smaller number first, but you don't have to. So that would be our final answer. In the second problem, our A is 1, our B is negative 10, and our C is 16. So as we're thinking about our binomial factors, the only way to get x squared would be x times x, and to get our last factors, we need to worry about C and B. So we need factors of C. So 1 times 16, 2 times 8, 3 doesn't go, 4 does. And then we already have 8 in our list. This time our C is positive. And if you need a positive C, then your numbers are going to need to be the same sign. Because a positive times a positive is a positive, and a negative times a negative is a positive. And we're trying to get negative 10. So as we look at our factors, 2 and 8 will give us 10. And if I make them both negative, that will give me negative 10. So these are the factors that are going to go in our parentheses. And now we'll use the zero product property. So x minus 2 is equal to 0, or x minus 8 is equal to 0. Over here, we'll add 2 to both sides. So that'll be x is equal to 2. And on the right, we'll add 8 to both sides, and x is 8. So our answers are 2 and 8. Okay, looking at number 3, we've got x squared plus 16x plus 64 is equal to 0. My A is going to be 1, B is 16, and C is 64. So in our parentheses, we're going to have x times x to get our x squared, and we need factors of 64. So 1 times 64, 2 times 32, 3 doesn't go, 4 times 16, 5 doesn't go, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 8. And we're trying to get for our middle term, that's 16. So our C is positive again, so we need factors that are going to add up to be 16. So that would be 8 plus 8. And since it's positive, both of those just need to be positive. So it'd be plus 8 and plus 8. And then we'll set each factor equal to 0. But wait a minute, those are the exact same factors. So we really just need to solve one. So that'll be x is equal to negative 8. Over here we would have gotten the same thing just to show you. So that would be x equals negative 8. So we have a double root here, so we just write that one time. You know, if we were graphing that, that would mean that it actually intersected wherever negative 8 would be over here, and so it would intersect the x-axis just one time. That would be just an example of one x-intercept. So number 4 is a little different. A is not 1. What is going on? When that happens and your numbers are kind of large, check to see if there is a GCF. Now there won't always be, as we'll see in our next video. But this time there is. 4 will go into 20 and it will go into 56. Now you might need your calculator for that. So what I'm going to do is divide each term by 4. And since this is an equation, I get to divide both sides by 4. So 4 divided by 4 makes that 1x squared. Negative 20 divided by 4 is negative 5x. And then negative 56 divided by 4 is negative 14. And 0 divided by 4 is 0. Now our A is 1. So A is 1, B is negative 5, and C is negative 14. So we have a negative C and a negative B. So here we can go ahead and think about our binomials. So it'll be x times x is x squared. We need to work on that 14. It's negative. So as we're looking at our factors, since it's negative, we're going to need our larger sign to be negative. So a negative 7 plus 2 will give us that negative 5 that we need. So we'll put plus 2 minus 7. Then we'll use our zero product property. And on the left, we'll take away 2 to get x by itself. Here we'll add 7. And then we can write our answers, smaller number first, if you prefer. And that is solving by factoring. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, share, or like. Have a great day.